Alright, this is Mr. Gillen, and today we're going to learn about the angles of triangles some more. Since we've learned about what supplementary means, now would be a perfect time to talk about the sum of the interior angles of a triangle. The angles of a triangle sum to 180 degrees. Therefore, we can write an equation to solve for missing values in a triangle. Alright, so this is very similar to what we did with supplementary angles, except for instead of two angles adding up to 180 degrees, now we have three angles. The interior, they're called interior angles of a triangle. Alright, so if I called this triangle A, B, C, we could name angle A two ways. We could say this is angle A, or we could say it's angle BAC. Actually, we could name it three ways, or we could call it CAB. These three things, these three angles, are all the same angle. They all refer to this angle. I notice on some homework assignments we're getting confused on the difference between angles and lengths. Okay, the degrees are how open the two segments are when they're connected. Okay, so angle A, angle BAC, or angle CAB are all the same angle. I mean, there's just three different names for the same angle. All right. Now on with what we were talking about. The triangle has 180 degrees, and therefore the sum of all three angles, 85 degrees, plus 63, plus 4 plus 7x, should all equal 180 degrees, because there's always, no matter what type of triangle you have, there's always 180 degrees in that triangle. And now that we have a nice equation to solve, what I can do is I can just combine my like terms. 85 plus 63 plus 4. Let's see here, what would that be? 67 plus 85. Looks like we got about 152 so far, plus 7x equals 180. Since this is a positive 152, I'm going to subtract it from both sides of the equation to make sure it stays balanced, leaving me with 7x equals 28. My last step finally is to divide. X must equal 4. All right. It does say to find the missing values. X would be called the unknown. I want to know what this actual angle is. So I'm going to say 4 plus 7 times 4. 28 says our order of operations has to happen here. 28 plus 4, 32. This is a 32 degree angle, that last missing angle there. Okay. X equals 4. The measurement is 32. Okay. Specifically, the important part is for you to find the unknown value. Okay. Again, we have a triangle here, and I see that my unknown value, my x, my variable, is one of the angles of the triangle. So I'm going to go ahead and add all the angles together. 43 degrees plus 62 degrees plus this unknown angle here. We're just going to call him 8x minus 5. We know it all has to add up to 180 because there's always 180 degrees in a triangle. It's like we have 105 between 43 and 62, but we're going to take 5 away. So really we just have 100 plus 8x equals 180. From there, to solve my equation, I subtract 100 from each side, getting me closer to x being isolated or by itself. And I'm going to divide by 8. X must equal 10. So depending on what the question asks, if it says solve for x, I know that x equals 10. If it said find what the angle is not 10 degrees. The angle would be 8 times 10 minus 5. So the angle itself would be 75 degrees. In this case, for what we're doing today, really x is the most important part. But keep in mind, that's not the degree. That's not the angle measure of the missing angle. That's just the variable x. Yeah, so again, we have another triangle here, and once again, my unknown is one of the angles of the triangle. So I'm going to use the other two angles and the knowledge that all the angles of a triangle add up to 180 degrees to write an equation to solve for x. So 5x plus 4 plus the 49 plus the 107 must equal 180 degrees. All three of these angles together. Okay, so we'll say 5x, he doesn't have any like terms, and we got 4 and 49 makes 53, and 107, 160. And if I solve this thing like we have in the past, solving these two-step equations, I know that x must equal 4. So that's really, I think, what they're going to ask you on the homework. However, 4 is not the degree. 5 times 4 plus 4 would be the degree. So I would know this is 24 degrees. Okay, so make sure you answer the question that they're asking you. And another example, same type of deal. We have an unknown in one of the angles of my triangle, but I know that all the angles must add up to 180. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add them up and I'm going to set them equal to 180. My 43 degree angle, my 41 degree angle, and my 9x minus 12 all have to add up total of 180 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead and combine my like terms. Looks like I have 84 minus 12, 72. Plus 9x. Remember, this plus goes with the 9x. The 9x is positive because 180. And now it's just a matter of solving. 9x equals 108. And, ooh, another chance for us to use our long division. X equals, or I could reduce that fraction until there was nothing left, but I know 108 and 9 are perfectly divisible. 12. So x equals 12. All right. Keep in mind again, that is not the angle measure, that is just the value of x that makes the triangle a true statement. And another example, 49 plus 95, oop, made a mistake already, plus 5x plus 1 has to equal 180 because I know my unknown is an angle of the triangle. The other two angles with that angle should add up to 180 degrees. Looks like I have 49 and 1 are the two that I'm going to add first together. That's 50 plus another 95 is 145 plus 5x. And so now I'm just going to go ahead and solve for x. And I've found that x equals 7. Okay, and these are the same rules of algebra that we've been doing all year long. So those two-step equations, I know for you guys, are going to be a piece of cake. Let's do a little quick review on angles and some questions about this. When I look at these angles, the two that they give me are these two. This guy right here and this guy right here. And it tells me that these two are vertical angles. And what I know about vertical angles is that they are congruent, or they're equal. So I know that if this is 65, this also has to be 65. So I know that 9x plus 2 must be equal to 65. So if I were to solve this, I would know that 9x equals 63. And when I divide by 9, x would equal 7. Okay, so there's your review of what we call a vertical angles. Another review problem here. Immediately what I see here is we have two unknowns. Ooh, tricky one. And we have a 90-degree angle. That tells me we're working with complementary angles. And so I know that the degree measure of this first angle and the second angle must add up to 90 degrees. And so we have 8x and 9x. Ooh, those are like terms. 17x. I have 8 and negative 3 makes a positive 5 equals 90. Now I'm just going to solve this little guy here. And I'm going to say that x must equal 5. There's a review for you for your complementary angles. And finally, believe it or not, I believe that we have a supplementary review. As you can see, this angle and this angle are adjacent, meaning they're right next to each other, and they go together to make a straight line. So I know that this degree measure and this degree measure together should add up to 180 degrees, similar to our triangles today. 10x minus 11 plus 51 must equal 180. I'll add my like terms together. I know this 11 is negative because of the minus sign in front of it. So negative 11 plus 51 would be 41. 4140. And then finally I am solving my two-step equation for my solution. And there you have it. X must equal 14. Okay, so there's a little review in there for vertical, complementary, supplementary angles, as well as the reminder that all the angles in the triangle add up to 180 degrees. And that's it for today.